Hello, guys, and welcome back to It's Called Football. In today's podcast, Lee and I are going to be talking about the group stage match day two. We'll be doing a roundup of all 16 games, starting with Iran versus Wales. Iran scored late twice in stoppage time to beat Wales, who went down to 10 men. Cheshmi scored the first in the 98th minute, so it was 0-0 for ages. And then Razayan made it 2-0 3 minutes later. Iran deserved to win, to be fair. They dominated the whole game. Wales looked like they would escape with a point. But ultimately, when Wayne Hennessy fouled Taremi, he got a red card. It was a yellow, but it got upgraded to a red by VAR.
Yeah, the ending score of Japan versus Costa Rica, Costa Rica won 1-0. The goal scorer for Costa Rica was Keisha Fuller. Although it was a 1-0 win for Costa Rica, Japan pretty much dominated the whole game. They had 13 shots to Costa Rica's 4. Japan with 57% of possession, but they just didn't really take the chances. Japan obviously had dominated the whole game, but for Costa Rica, Keylor Navas made a few key saves, kept them in the game completely. That goal was, in fact, came from the first shot on target in their 2022 World Cup.
Qatar versus Senegal. Obviously, Qatar haven't really had the start they'd like. Their first World Cup, eliminated within their first two games after losing to Senegal. Boulaye Dia broke the deadlock just before half time. And then it went from bad for worse for Qatar. They went 2-0 up shortly after the second half began. Muntari got one goal back for Qatar, scoring their first ever World Cup goal, but Senegal responded perfectly by scoring again 5 minutes later, which made the final score 3-1.
Belgium versus Morocco. Morocco actually came out winners with 2-0. Belgium are really, really struggling this World Cup, and I did actually say that in one of our last podcasts, and you all said I was a bit stupid for it. Team cohesion for Belgium are horrible. Every single one of the players are coming out in the press saying the training's bad. Everyone's going against each other. Ziyech, one of the main players, setting up a goal, making a lot of chances, with also having a few shots. And Hakimi also dominated down the right as well.
The Netherlands versus Ecuador. Ecuador did really well to get a point against Netherlands. Cody Gakpo scored early on in the game, but his goal was cancelled out by Enner Valencia, who got his third goal in two games for his nation. Cody Gakpo has been playing really well so far. Both sides won their first game 2-0, so after this 1-1 draw, they're both still level in Group A.
Croatia versus Canada, quite a goal scoring game. Croatia ended up 4-1 winners. Goal scorers for Croatia were Kramaric scoring two, Livajar scoring one, and Maya scoring one. And the goal scorer for Canada was Alphonso Davies. Canada started really well, going 1-0 up, but after that just completely folded over. After a fantastic attack, Kramaric came out with a goal. In the whole game, he had 5 shots and 2 goals with a disallowed goal also. So Kramaric had a really, really good game. Also, Ivan Perisic had a very great game, getting 2 assists and creating even more chances. Despite Canada scoring their first ever World Cup, they were not good enough to keep out consistent Croatia.
England versus USA. I was at work during this, and to be honest, I'm glad I was. It was the fifth goalless game of the World Cup. Obviously, 0-0 final score. Harry Maguire had a very good game, and it's totally different to the Maguire we've seen playing for Man United this season. Other than that, we just didn't seem to get out of second gear, and overall, it's quite a disappointing performance, meaning England are still yet to beat USA. Still top of the group, so that's the most important thing. But yeah, very dull game.
Despite the scoreline only being 1-1, it was actually a very, very good game for the youngsters. Goal scorers, however, were a bit older. Spain's goal scorer was Morata, and Germany goal scorer was Füllkrug. Like I said, a very good game for the youngsters. Spain having Javi and Pedro, Germany having Musiala, and they pretty much just dominate the game, all having fantastic, great games. Füllkrug on his Germany debut scored at 29 years old on his first call up as well, which would have been obviously fantastic for him. Spain did, I mean, classic Spain dominated the whole game, passing the possession. Like I said, coming from the midfield, Javi and Pedro obviously having a fantastic game. But yeah, dominated the whole game. Only came out with a 1-1 draw.
Tunisia versus Australia. Mitchell Duke scored the only goal in this game, giving Australia a massive boost in their hopes to reach the knockout stages. On paper, probably not one of the most exciting games, considering the one that we've just spoken about. But very important for both these sides. After Duke put Australia ahead, Tunisia pressured like relentlessly, but they just couldn't even the scoreline, and that leaves them at the bottom of Group D. And with France as their next game, it's not looking very good.
Cameroon versus Serbia, one for one of the games for the neutrals. 3-3 draw. Goal scorers for Cameroon were Castelletto with one goal, Abubakar with one goal, and Chopin Moting for 1 goal as well. For Serbia, Pavlovic came out with 1 goal, Milinkovic-Savic with a goal, and Mitrovic with a goal. Like I said, great game for the neutrals. Cameroon were 3-1 down and made a very impressive comeback to keep it 3-3 and rescuing a point for their team. Abubakar and Milinkovic-Savic were the main players for their respective countries, both setting up chances and scoring goals.
Poland versus Saudi Arabia is the next one. Poland go top of the group with a much better performance compared to their opener versus Mexico. Napoli midfielder Zielinski put Poland ahead just before the half-time whistle. Aldaswari missed out on the chance to bring the score level from the spot. Chesney denied him and the follow-up as well. Robert Lewandowski made it 2-0 with his first ever World Cup goal. I think just Saudi Arabia's focus sort of dropped. Yeah, top of the group ahead of Argentina. So heading into the final match day, it's looking very good for them.
South Korea versus Ghana, again, probably a very good game for the neutrals. Ghana came out 3-2 winners. South Korea goal scorers was Cho Ju-sung getting 2 goals, and Ghana's goal scorers were Salisu with 1 goal and Kudos getting 2 goals. Ghana went 2-0 up, then it went to 2-2, and Ghana went on to score and make it 3-2, therefore coming out of the winners. Kudus performing very well, showing how good he can be and how good he's saying he can be. Ghana coming out 3-2 winners, taking the 3 points.
France versus Denmark. Another slow start to this game. Quite a lot of them have been like that. It was 0-0 at half-time. But when it's France, it's only really a matter of time before they get their goal. Eventually, it came from Kylian Mbappe. He put France ahead. Shortly after that, Christensen scored to Denmark to bring it level. Just before the final whistle, Mbappe got his second. And I mean, he showed how talented he was in the 2018 World Cup when he was just 19. 4 years later, he's doing it all over again. He's got plenty of time to be in many more. I think just tournament football is definitely his game because he's smashing it so far and it's only 2 games in.
Brazil versus Switzerland, a bit of a boring game. 0-0. Sorry, it was half-time. It was 0-0. Ending score was 1-0. Casemiro getting Brazil's goal in the 83rd minute, securing the 3 points. Despite a very quiet game, it was a fantastic game for the Brazil youngsters, including Vinicius Junior, who obviously he's clearly, again, like Kylian, becoming one of the best players in the world.
Do you think they're going to be able to go as far as we originally assumed without Neymar?
I think obviously losing Neymar, it would be a massive loss to any team, whoever he plays for. But with Brazil, they all play the same sort of way. They all play with flair. They all play with confidence. And if they get to the final and Neymar does come back, that's just an extra boost for them.
Argentina versus Mexico. After a shaky start for Argentina in match day 1, obviously losing against Saudi Arabia, this became a game that they had to win. Probably at the start, it was not as important as it is now. Similar to quite a few of the other games, it was a quiet first half, stayed 0-0. 20 minutes into the second half, Messi got his second goal of the tournament to put Argentina ahead. Mexico tried to get a goal back but weren't able to do it, and then Argentina guaranteed the win when they got their second in the 87th minute. Mexico are now bottom of the table with 1 point, whilst Argentina have redeemed themselves massively and are now in second.
Portugal versus Uruguay, the ending score was 2-0 to Portugal. Goal scorers both being Bruno Fernandes, although there was that little bit of Ronaldo did try to claim, but you could see with all the different reports and stuff that Ronaldo didn't in fact touch the ball. So Bruno Fernandes with both goals. A pen and a pinpoint cross turned into a shot from Bruno Fernandes gave Portugal the 2-0 win. Great performances also by Ronaldo and Pepe, some of the older players, obviously, in Portugal, showing up.
That is the end of the podcast. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back very soon with another one.